Okay, so we're going to start this up. Okay. So, welcome everybody to another episode of the Melee Monkeys Raid Time with co-host Brashear. That doesn't say anything because he's got food
Sorry.
in his mouth.
Yeah. Hello. I
And
am here.
I am not solo. And tonight we have a special guest. He is one of our healers, another shaman, but I think y'all can deal with that. It's Sports.
Sports. Superhero healer.
That's a good. There you go. Sports, a superhero healer.
Can we start this off? What is the history behind the name Sports?
Well, I played briefly on a private server for free for vanilla WoW, and me and a couple of my buddies, we started a guild called Local Squirtle Squad.
Nice.
And then when I went back into regular WoW, I wasn't in a guild, so I just created a joke guild called Local Sports Squad with a Z, and then eventually I made a shaman named Sports.
Ah.
Interesting.
Nice. I'm glad it wasn't just like you felt like having Sports with a Z as a name.
I mean, obviously I did, but it came from something else that I had done.
Yeah. That's a little bit of history. That's cool.
Yeah, at least yeah. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, so tonight we're gonna talk about some stuff that, of course, the generic post-raid talk. However, we this week we didn't really do a whole lot as a guild, unfortunately, but we do have some things to talk about, and maybe we can get into some strats and some perspectives of a different shaman healer, and which is going to be interesting. I wonder if you have some different views than Arculos, who we've had previous on the show. So let's start off with Iron Maiden. Sports, you were there for Iron Maidens, correct?
I was there from the very beginning.
From the beginning. Okay, cool. Sorry, I don't pay attention to healers. And,
Well, then maybe I'll stop paying attention to you.
that's okay. That's how I feel. Nobody heals me anyways, even when I'm in group 1.
He's just healed himself.
Yeah, that's...
Death strike all day.
I tend to pay special attention to Brashear because he tends
What
to,
the So you get
rock
like
the
all the
meters.
healers. Seriously, you have every healer in your pocket.
It's just I've been working on this for a while.
On Tuesday, Brashear called out in chat, he's like, clutch heals. That was me. I actually used my unleashed life on him to fucking save his life.
Wow.
Yeah, I always die on that one set we were on, that trash pack. And that was like the one time I lived. I had all my defensives up, but I still die every time. But that time I lived, and I was like, oh my, like I gotta say something.
I used my unleashed life, and then I used my my nature swiftness to get the instant heal, and I saved your ass.
I think Seb was helping out too, but yeah, that was good.
Like I said,
props to the heals.
You have every healer in your pocket.
It's very
Well,
nice.
Rhuller, when you start doing 55,000 DPS on AoE pulls, I'll start healing you.
Excuse me, I was like at the top. I was ahead of Brash at one point. However, I died.
I don't
because
look at,
I got no heals.
I don't look at DPS meters.
Yeah. So your point is irrelevant.
No, let me rephrase. When somebody posts a meter in chat and if yours says 55k, I'll start paying attention to you.
Okay, I'll have to start posting the DPS meters then. All right, so cool. So let's get right into it, I guess. So Iron Maiden's Sports. How you said you were there from the beginning, so you were one of our 3 healers that tried to do this a couple of times with 3 heals.
Yeah, it was me, Ark, and Bella, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So tell us your impression of 3 healing that fight on normal, and then as we got more people, more healers, like how did it get better or worse?
When we were 3 healing it, it was very fun. And then as more people showed up, it got more boring.
That's an awesome perspective because that's the thing is like challenges make things fun in to a point. Obviously you don't want it to be so hard that it doesn't seem plausible, but like things that give people challenges makes things fun in my opinion. And like I'm glad that you said that, because even it's fun for healers too apparently.
Yeah, and I noticed that Large put fun in quotes in the chat, and I just want to say that everyone said that they hated that fight, but I loved it because of how fucking hectic it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like, uh, I don't like Rule because it's boring and predictable. I don't like the Beast Lord because he's boring and predictable. I don't like the Flamebender because she's boring and predictable. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing I liked about Iron Maidens. Like, it's hectic and like it's a little predictable. Yeah, Oregorger sucks too, but like Iron Maidens was a little bit predictable, but it was still hectic enough that you didn't really notice how predictable it was, and that's
Mhm.
why it was a lot of fun to me, especially when we were three healing it, because not only did us healers have to play a lot better, because there's only three of us, so there's not as much room for error, but just in general, it was just way better experience than before all the other people showed up, and we definitely could have done it if we had just gotten a couple more attempts, but I understand wanting to fill out the raid better.
Yeah. That's yeah. And
I
I know.
think
Sorry, go ahead.
I think that fight is one of the fight that is the worst if you add more people. Like every other fight is okay if you keep adding people, generally, as long as they're pulling weight, right? But that fight, even if people are pulling weight, the area is pretty limited. So yeah, like you want 15 people ideally, so you have lots of space to do every mechanic. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and the other frustrating thing is like I feel like a lot of the DPS wasn't respecting the fact that there was only three healers because they still weren't doing their best to like dodge bombs and stuff. Like we explained how to dodge bombs like over and over again, and there was like two or three people who would just not do it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
It's definitely one of those not monkey business friendly fights where there's movement involved. And luckily I was on the boat, so I wasn't one of those people that were getting hit by bombs. But uh, yeah, it can become an issue and with DPS just like not paying attention. And
Like,
I personally I don't understand how like why it's like that much harder to avoid stuff. And I know myself that I sometimes like I'm not paying attention who has blood ritual, that cone that the tank has to take, and sometimes I get in between it and I just take half damage, like half my health goes away. I'm like fuck, like
oh, I
so
know.
so I know I can improve that way.
Well, I was going to recommend the next time we tried it and we were having issues. Basically, all the melee do what I do. Is like Joel's always on the like looking towards the bosses. Joel's tanking on the left side. Large is somewhere in the middle, and the melee's kind of in the middle, right? Basically, and I just run behind Joel, like 2 feet behind him, and I can still even melee. I don't have to stop meleeing, and that's why I did it in the first place, so I don't have to run out. And Joel doesn't even have to move. And I think all the melee should be doing that because I was watching the kill video from both of our perspectives, and basically, like a lot of the melee blood rituals that were like headed on towards the right side of the platform were hitting other melee and taking them down to like really, really low. So I think that's something we could definitely improve on, and it's not that hard. Like it's pretty simple. It's just you just got to know where to go.
That's true, but and I know like the tanks are doing their own shit, but I like that is a tank mechanic, and I feel like Joel should move, and like it should be DPS. So I think we all should be moving, but I think it's intended to be a tank mechanic, but to
Well,
again, like you said, to help out with.
the issue with it being a tank mechanic, how we do it is all the melee is a cluster cluster F in the with the tanks in the middle. So I remember once Xanil got hit, and like he was kind of like beside Joel, right? And Joel was in the middle trying to interrupt it, but the game decided that Xanil was closer, and Joel really didn't. He wasn't in the wrong, and nor was Xanil really. So it's like we're just kind of taking a risk doing it this way.
Right.
If we just kind of made it nice and clean, because it's Joel's mob that actually does the conal. So you
Okay.
want to go to the left, because if you're going to the right, it's going through all the other bosses. So if you go to the left, it's just from the boss through Joel and to you, and like there's very low chance as long as a melee doesn't run over there at the same time randomly, which never happened in whenever I got it.
Yeah. And maybe I don't know. I mean, I would suggest putting a marker because, and this is for me. I'm calling myself out. Like I'm bad with knowing where Joel is because he's just like even though he's a fat panda, like he just blends into everything because he just looks the same as everything else.
Yeah.
And so I know I don't know where he is ever. I know where Large is always, but I can never find Joel. And
Well, and the blood ritual part, if you go to the left side, Joel is visible. If I try to go to the right side, I have no idea what Joel is because he's in the melee group. But when you do it to the left, he's out on his own, and you can clearly see him.
okay,
I think just the way, I mean, if you watch my kill vid from my perspective, you can see exactly what I do, and it's really easy, and it actually you don't even lose any DPS. So I think that would help. I mean, it's a minor thing. It's not like our biggest issue, but
yeah,
it would help.
yeah. So yeah, so I guess we kind of covered a little bit of the melee issues. Um, so sports, what were some of the biggest issues for you as not just a healer healing people, but like as a ranged person? Like, what was the most annoying or frustrating thing for you to actually have to do in that fight?
Other than saving people who can't be bothered to dodge bombs,
Yes.
um, the most annoying thing is when somebody gets the line on them and everyone stacks up on the line, and then they adjust their position, and like everyone has to quickly rush to get back onto the line before they get shot in the face and die.
Sorry, that was like the best narration of that ever. It's so good. Yeah, I kind of like as melee, I try to get on the line, and I know Joel is like calling for range to get on the line, but I feel like I should get on the line just in case somebody kind of derps. But yeah, I saw that a couple. Well, I heard it mainly. People like saying no, 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 stay where you are, and stuff like that. So
That was probably me.
probably,
I know I opened my mic at least once and said stop moving
yeah. So
because there was one person, I can't remember who just kept moving. Like I understand when you're trying to dodge bombs, but like like if there's no bombs on the ground, then you don't have to move.
yeah, and maybe that's something we can bring up too. Like, and that's what I feel like these pods are good for is to bring up issues that people may have not even thought about. So,
Yeah.
so that's probably something
Like
we could bring up.
like moving backwards to make the line longer is one thing, but that doesn't move it from side to side, so nobody has to readjust to get back on the line.
Yeah, and during the line, there's not really any other mechanics at that moment. I think there might be a bomb running around. Someone's kiting the rapid fire or whatever it is.
There was a couple times when the line would come out during the alpha bomb phases, so the room would be flooding with bombs while the line was going on. So people were trying to not get killed by either. But yeah,
Oh, I see. Right, I had never seen that phase because I
and
rode the boat
like
every time.
when something like that is happening, I understand moving because you don't want to get exploded by four bombs. But when there's nothing happening, it gets really frustrating. And yeah, Large says that they might be confusing it with Blood Ritual, but like, I don't know. I just feel like they look different enough that uh, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. Like I agree with that, and I can see how people might get confused because, um, again, not to poke at Joel, but he goes on a long, very long with his explanations, and he explains what every mechanic does, but he doesn't really explain. Like he kind of gives you like tells you what you should do, but doesn't give you like the details that many people actually need, like visual details. So like, what does it look like? And granted, like when we first do the fight, we don't really know what they look like, and even in the video, like the line of sight gaming video, it's kind of hard to see some stuff. I'm sure for some people. So maybe that's just something that we could bring up again and just be like, okay, this is what this is. This is what it looks like. This is what people need to do, and just like make it really quick and really simple. And I think that would help a lot. I mean, we got the kill, so I mean, it's not a huge issue really, but I think everything helps, and to get a kill quicker, we should try and implement in some way. Cool. If unless either of you have anything else to add to that, I think we'll just move straight on to Oregorger.
Anything significant with a boat that you want to mention?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and not really. I mean, it was my first time on the boat, and it was pretty like simple,
Yeah.
and it wasn't very difficult. You just kind of got to kill the dude, and and I know you were talking about with Joel like moving the boss and stuff, and there was one point where I'm sitting there, I'm like, Joel, move the boss, move the boss, move the boss, because like there's a pool, like there was no space between me and the boss, and there was no way for me to go, and I was like, oh my, like the one with the blood pools.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my god, move. And then when he moves so quick all of a sudden, like it's like jerky. It's not really smooth. Yeah. And so I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, it's like Large was talking about last pod, I guess it was, where like I think that guy moves in a way where like he's kind of squirmy and like jumps around.
Oh, okay.
Instead of being nice, smooth, and slow.
So the boss is the issue.
Personally, yeah.
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 I noticed a lot of that in this expansion, that bosses and like just all sorts of trash and stuff, just like you move a tiny bit and they're just like spazzing all over the place, and you don't know what's happening, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's weird. I was gonna mention on the boats, Arculos started calling out like when to click the thing to get off the boat.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
that was helping a lot, because sometimes we would have it where it would throw us right at the same time as the bombs were exploding. So we'd come down, and then you're kind of stunned for like 2 seconds on the main platform, and you just took bombs to the face. And I remember we lost Regoth at least once to that. It's just random. So that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah, DBM calls out when it says to return to platform. It pops up even while we're fighting the dude, because it's telling you when the bombs are exploded.
I see.
So that's probably where he was getting it from. Because that was popping up for me as well. So
That makes sense. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, that's another thing that because I don't know if I'll be on the boat again, but that's something I'm sure Arculos will be on the boat, because he's really good with callouts and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sports, do you have anything else to add for that fight? Anything?
No, I mean, I pretty much said it all. I've never been on the boat, so I have nothing to add to that.
All right, cool. So we'll just move on to what we did tonight. We killed Gruul, woo. But our main focus was heroic Oregorger. We've killed him on normal, but this is our first like real attempts at killing him on heroic. The fight is very similar to normal. Our strat was a little bit different. Like where we started was different. We started in the back corner rather than the front right corner. We started in the back right corner. I kind of just want to get both of your. We'll start with Sports, but I want to know the overall impression of this new placement of where we tank the boss.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, because where we would tank him on normal, the like with the vomit can't remember what it's actually called.
Dad bombing.
Like, we usually ended up forced into a fairly decent position, but I feel like the melee never really was. You know what I mean? Because where the melee was standing, that's like a 50-50 chance that Oregorger is going to roll that way, and he's standing so close to the wall that any slow meleeer is going to get rolled over immediately.
Yeah, that's true.
So the new positioning, I think, is really nice because there's like a 5-second window where Oregorger walks to the wall where he rolls the first time, and then also he never has the chance to roll to where the melee were fighting. So I think it works out a lot better. And the group staying together was really nice because, like, as boring and easy as normal Oregorger was, everyone was so spread out that I just gave up on actually healing. I just dropped a healing rain wherever I chose to stand, and if anybody wanted to walk over it, then great. I just
Yeah.
I didn't care enough.
Yeah. Yeah. This fight is definitely kind of it's definitely not so much a clusterfuck, but it's more like a lot of like some people just need to be paying attention where a lot of people don't do, unfortunately. So how is the corridor for ranged? I know you're stacking up. Is that any different than our old placement? Is it better or?
I mean, it has a lot of the same properties as where we would end. Like, a lot of the ranged ended up standing in the other fight. Like, it's a 3-way intersection where we run around a single corner and we can dodge pretty much any roll that he does. But the real problem comes when people decide to run down the long corridor to get the box at the very end, and they're not paying attention to where Oregorger is, and he rolls down the hallway and just stomps them. And, like, it happens so many times, and it got so frustrating.
Yeah.
Because, like, I want to keep everybody alive. I'm a healer. That's my job. But I'm not going to chase myself into death to do it.
Yeah. Oh no, exactly, and that's not your job to chase people that aren't paying attention. And I definitely split from the group a lot of the times because I was doing. I mean, I should have just been following the group, but I was still in. I was playing the line of sight gaming video over and over again in my head of where they went, and so I kept going to where they went, but everyone else kind of split and went other ways, and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? Like, I was kind of derping a little bit. So
Yeah, and that's the problem I have with the line of sight gaming is in a 2-minute and 45-second video, that's not enough time to explain that, like, where their video says to go is not a tried and true rule, because that's not necessarily where Oregorger is going to allow you to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to touch on a point you said earlier, it's not my job to chase people who aren't paying attention. That's exactly why there were a couple people in the raid on the Iron Maiden fights that I just stopped healing. Like, I would toss a Riptide on them, but I wasn't wasting much mana on them anymore because they consistently weren't paying attention to bombs, and so I just would let them die because it's not worth wasting all that mana when I could be saving people who, are taking damage from reasonable things.
And that's interesting. I'm glad you admit to that because, that's something that, like, I kind of value because I like going into dungeons, for example, like lobby dungeons and stuff. Like, when people either aren't paying attention or they pull stuff, and I know that dungeons are kind of a joke and like everything's dies so easily, but it still bothers me when I'm tanking and somebody pulls. Like, I want that healer to not heal them because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so, like, you kind of have the same mentality. If the person's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, you're not going to waste the resources on them. You're going to do your job and keep up the tanks and people that are doing their job.
That's exactly it. Like, when the expansion was still fairly new, and I was doing a lot of heroic dungeons with Krungerall because he's a real life friend of mine. So he's the one who got me into the guild and everything. Um, we were gearing up in heroics, and we were doing the Grimrail Depot one, the train, and we were on that boss who jumps into the tank thing,
Yeah.
and we got him out of the tank, and then all of our DPS died because they weren't paying attention. And so me and Krendrigal just finished the fight alone. Like, the DPS were like, just wipe it, like, let's go. And I'm like, no, we're gonna finish this fight because we can two-man it, and it's probably better because I don't have to pay attention to idiots anymore.
Yeah. That's in like in those certain like in dungeons and stuff. I mean, I try, like, if somebody asks me, I'll explain it, the fight, to them. But if nobody asks, I'm gonna assume that they know what they're doing, and that's just how it rolls. And if they don't know what they're doing and we wipe, that's just
Yeah.
how it goes. And just like that's the thing is, it's unfortunate, but like the people that don't ask are afraid to ask because there's so many assholes in looking for group that they just don't even bother asking because they know they're going to get shit on by somebody, which is really unfortunate. But that's like, people should ask. They shouldn't feel afraid to ask how to play a game. I don't know, it's just like, we're getting a little off track, but it was like, that's how I feel. So yeah, so besides like people running out and getting a line of sight and like splitting from the group, was there any other real issues in this fight that you think could be improved from a healing perspective?
Um, I think, like, I think people could, like, the ranged could pay more attention to who's getting vomited on, because, like, I don't, like, you guys probably didn't notice because you were probably too busy DPSing, but, like, there's like a 2 or 3 second window between getting targeted and getting hit where you can run because the projectile's coming. It doesn't follow you. So, like, even when it targeted me, like, I just ran out from where I was and I almost never took damage from it. And it's such an easy way to save mana for healers.
Right.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That's like something that, like, you can wait for callouts, but like, I think, especially in heroic or higher, you need to be ready to react in your own way, and with vent delay and whatever, like, you can't rely on a callout.
He's just gonna come in and listen.
Low, large, silent.
Silent.
Yeah.
Muted him.
Like, and, like, I'm not going to call out any names because I don't want to be that guy, but,
Yeah, there's no
like,
need to.
but, like, people who say that their awareness isn't very good and want every person of importance to be marked so that, like, they can follow what that person is doing instead of knowing what they have to do for themselves. That's something that I don't really understand, and it's kind of frustrating to listen to that.
Okay, and like I agree, but what makes it so frustrating for you?
Well, because it's like, well, like, would you want to, like, if you had to go to, like, an emergency room, would you want a doctor who had to run everything by their superior instead of being able to, have confidence in their ability to treat you themselves? Like,
Yeah,
it's
no, yeah.
obviously way less extreme than something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, but it's the same sort of idea.
That's and that's exactly what I just wanted to kind of like get into that, because like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, people, and especially people that have been playing a lot longer than, like, say, me, because I've only been playing since Kata. like and that's why I try to tell people, like, don't sell yourself short. Like, are if you feel like you are slow, you're gonna be slow. You know what I mean? It's totally like a mindset that people need to, I think, get out of, and get more confidence to be better. Because I'm sure like a ton of the people in in Monkey that feel that way, like they could easily improve. They just gotta somehow get out of the funk that they feel useless or something. I don't know what they're actually thinking, but yeah, I think it would benefit if they got some more confidence. Definitely. So Brash, we haven't really heard much from you now. I mean, that's okay. You talk a lot. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
My voice is a little off too, anyways. So.
Oh, okay. So, getting your perspective, and I'm gonna say as a warrior, because you get some movement stuff, you get some charge and like heroic leap and stuff. And I know Joel said if you try to heroic leap, I don't know why he thought heroic leaping through the boss would actually prevent damage, but yeah.
It's something I would try, but for whatever reason I didn't. I assumed it would kill me.
Yeah, it would. So how is the movement for you in this being melee and trying to do damage to the boss, but also do damage to the crates? How do you feel? Like, do you think it's totally manageable, or are you finding it at all difficult?
I don't think I got clipped by a single roll tonight. So yeah, I think that's that's the shortest way of putting it. No, I mean it's pretty good. I tried to stop charging to the crates that I knew were safe, because I think me charging in was making people think that it was safe to like walk slowly towards them, which it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I remember like I did it like once on like the third to last pull, and it was the last time I did it, because I didn't want to throw people off because I'm a big cow and I do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And but no, yeah. So you just gotta walk slow, and like if you watch the boss, you can tell where he's coming. Like I remember the first like 5 attempts, let's say, on normal, it was a little bit confusing, but now at this point I know where he's gonna roll, so I just kind of like plan ahead, and I'm like, okay, right in this corner is gonna be safe, and then he lands like 2 feet beside me, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't quite hit me, and then I just walk right through him and get behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, also you can get a little bit of damage on the boss.
Oh yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
There is like a dead zone after, I'd say, like 30 seconds in the rolling phase. There's nothing really for melee that I can hit. Like it's all kind of ranged at that point. Stuff down like the far sides.
Right.
So I kind of just stand around waiting to like get to the next phase. But yeah, I mean that's about that for me.
Yeah. The only thing I have is like I have my speed boost, and again I was splitting off from the group, like I said, so I was kind of like I was watching the boss, but I was kind of like cutting it close a little bit, and I wanted to do more damage to the boss in this phase, in this rolly phase, because I felt like I know in normal I was doing none. I was like avoiding him 100%, trying not to do any damage, but I know in heroic that little bit of extra damage might help. So I'm trying to do, and I'm going behind him and stuff, and I'm doing what you're saying, and it's just it's fine. I feel like the movement is totally better than some other fights trying to get across the room and stuff, whereas this, it's like we can have some control, and it does make it better, and it makes it easier to do some more damage to him.
I might recommend though not using your speed boost, because that way unless you really need to save your ass.
Okay.
But try to just stay with the group, right? Because like I noticed that when I stayed with the like kind of like within like let's say like half of a roll like distance within like the healers, I was actually getting heals and whatnot, which was nice. But if I did my own thing, like chasing the boss all around and heroic leaping and whatnot, I was basically just running out of health because I wasn't getting any heals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something we should work on as a raid, like trying to stay together more, because we do kind of fan out. and we should definitely. I mean, it's getting people killed because on heroic, the raid-wide damage is just way higher.
Yeah, and that's a good point, and you're probably like totally right. And because I'm a DK, I would use my big heal because my health was going down, and I was away from healers and stuff. So I'd use my big heal up, and then kind of come back to the group. And I should probably be saving that for times where it's like we're in 10% of his health, and there's only a few of us left. I could use the heal to help in that way instead. So yeah, that's definitely something I will try and work on in my own brain, because yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah, and I think as cows, especially like me and you, like
yeah.
if we're on the opposite side of the maps, like the grade is just going to naturally like split, right, and like go
I
towards
know.
us.
I know
And then-
I hate being a cow sometimes, but it's just like I love being a cow because I'm giant and all my armor and my weapons are huge, and it's just like I'm like OP looking, and then but then everybody follows you, and it's like, oh my god. And then for whatever reason, the tanks put markers on the tiny little blood elves that you can never see, and it's like, what? I don't understand. I just heard a ding. What's this link?
You don't have to read it, but I mean, you don't have to just consider it. Yeah, no, I mean, a fun fight. The sports. What do you think about, like? I think I was beside you a lot of the time on Oregorger. Like, was that? Do you think that's true?
Um, I felt like you were one of the ones that I was consistently within sight of.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people on my UI that were in range, but I couldn't heal because they were around a corner, and I wasn't willing to go around that corner to heal them because it was too dangerous.
Yeah.
But I feel like you were fairly consistently in a good position. And to touch on what you were saying just a little bit ago with like the raids splitting up, I feel like it would be worth it to take a little extra time to finish a phase 2 and keep the raid together so that like everyone can be healed, rather than trying to finish it as quick as possible and everyone being at like 10% health and like barely surviving the next roll because of the AoE damage.
Yeah, totally. I agree. That's kind of like what I like on the first few polls. I was jumping around, like I said, on my own, and I noticed I was dying like crazy, and I don't have much of self heals, so I just kind of tuned it back a little bit and just tried to stay alive and stay near the group, and I do think it was worth it.
So yeah.
Yeah. Once you stop dying, you realize how great it is to be next to a healer.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we know I don't get heals, so I better just. I gotta pay Voodoo, and then I'll pay Sports something. I don't know. I gotta get these healers in my pockets. I can't.
I'm just saying, where the star was, the corner that's right next to the star, I stood there every phase 2, the entire phase 2, until they told me to run back to the position. And so if you were standing anywhere close to me, there would have been a healing rain waiting there for you.
I know. I avoided that corner like the plague, and I don't know why, but I seriously avoided it at all costs. And I don't know. I just felt like it was like death, because when he goes around the outer corner, the outer, he'll come there eventually, but like I still see people just standing there, and they just get owned by that roll, and I'm just like, I don't want to be there, even though I'm quick and probably wouldn't get hit. I try to avoid it, but no, you guys are totally right. I just and I'm sure I'm not the only one that kind of like fucks off, but I'll definitely stop being a derp and pay attention.
It's definitely like what Sports was saying. Like, it's one of those fights where like you have to kind of keep on the toes, like by your own means.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wait for someone else to move on your screen. Even that will be like almost too delayed in some circumstances.
That's just it. Like the people who think that they need to follow a mark to stay safe, like, yeah, you can follow a mark and maybe the mark's going to a safe position, but if it takes you even like half a second to react, that may be half a second too slow, and you
Mm-hmm.
might take a bunch of damage and die anyway.
You know who would be good with that? I think like Large is generally pretty good with that, like calling out movements. But Arculos actually, he would. I feel like we could have him be like the mark, right? But he would call it out in advance. Like we're standing in this corner, and then he's like, okay, after this, we're gonna run behind the boss to where he just was, because that's generally the safe thing to do. And if you call it out beforehand,
Yeah, but the thing
of
is,
time.
like with a fight like Warcraft, yeah, like he hits a wall, he takes a couple seconds, he turns the direction, he takes a second, he starts rolling, and even though Ark's great at calling stuff out, like I'll only admit it, like he's pretty fantastic at it. Like if you don't understand exactly what he's saying, it's not gonna matter. Like
That's true. Yeah.
so like you could say like, okay, around the corner, but there could be two corners and you're like, which corner? And like there's any number of reasons why having somebody tell you where to go will fail on that fight. And so it's just safer for you to be able to recognize the safe way to go yourself, because then your brain just makes the connection instantly as opposed to taking a second that you might not have to process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I agree with both. Like Arculus would be probably really good, but again, it's up to people to do it on their own. That's probably Monkey Business's biggest issue with this fight is people doing stuff on their own, and so I mean, we're getting close. We got him down to quite low, but so I think we only have like maybe a few more attempts till we kill him, but it's probably going to be messy, and it's probably going to have like three to five people dead, is what I'm guessing. So
Yeah, it depends. I think the kill will be everyone alive randomly, and we squeak it out in the whatever, like the second killing phase.
I would love for our final, like our first kill to have everybody alive, but if there are people who are going to die, I think I could predict who would be dead by the end of the fight. Like
Well,
like
the
you just
reason I say I think everyone is going to be alive is because that, like, the enrage timer basically. We only had 3 people dead that one attempt, and we were quite a ways away. So I'm not sure if we have any like room for people to be dead. But I wasn't looking at the timers that closely.
we don't have room for DPS to be dead.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Put up a healer dead now.
The healers could probably pick up the slack.
yeah, and that's kind of what I meant. Was it was mainly healers. I feel like it's going to be like maybe 2 or 3 healers. I mean, at that point we're stretching it, but it might be healers that are probably going to die, and that's what I'm guessing, because that's almost what happens, except for like some of the kills. Yeah, we had actually everybody alive, but I don't know. I just have a feeling. So that's my opinion on that.
As long as I get a good execute phase, I'll be happy.
So ridiculous. And and we did Gruel tonight, and I don't know what happened, but somehow Brash just went from like 30 to 34k because of his stupid executes, and I just want to say how effing retarded that is. Not retarded. Retarded's a bad word. Effing ridiculous that is, because, and I don't even know how I ended up 4th. Like Day like just beat me, and then I think it was
Day's execute is almost as strong as mine.
I think Regoth beat me, and I'm like, what? I was very confused. But yeah, your execute is ridiculous, and
Seems to be the theme lately. Like on the kills we get, I'm low on damage, and then I kind of come back with execute. But like I had one of the first attempts on Groll. I think we had 3 attempts.
oh, and kill, right?
The
No,
first attempt, I was
we
like
all took
32
two.
attempts. Okay, whatever the first attempt was, I was like 32 or 33k going to execute, and I
Poor
was like super
Windmaster.
happy. And then, yeah, that happens. So
Poor Windmask. I mean, Xano will never get his trinket. A trinket ever. All the
I'll,
trinkets.
ne- I'll never get the trinket from Dragon Master or whatever.
That beast lord.
That's the one.
That beast lord.
what did you call him?
Dragon Master.
Dragon Master. Nice.
Oh my god, we need to get Kiwi to make a background image or some sort of image that says Dragon Master and it's like all like really like chibi and stuff. Oh my god. It'd be effing great. I want to kill Dragon Master.
Somebody changed my guild note to Dragon Master.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome. So good. LFR Imperator and oh, wow. That's stellar. Good job, Xano. You're getting up there.
I'm still rocking a 630 trinket.
What the fuck? Get a crafted one, you nub. I'm just kidding. I love you. Good. Way to go, Large. Way to be.
I can't see chat. I'm really sad. My Twitch is broken.
Well, learn to unbreak it.
I've been F5ing it all night.
F5. That sounds like a party. Anyways, so unless you guys have anything else you want to ask or add to Oregorger being an asshole, I think we will actually head into story time to finish up this main pod.
Yep. That's enough on Oregorger, I think.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else.
Cool. All right, so welcome to the segment Story Time. I kind of made it kind of creepy. It's not supposed to be creepy. It's supposed to be funny. Welcome to Story Time, where we reminisce about funny things that happened in our raid. And so the two things that I have are we were literally, Joel was explaining Large I think Joel was still explaining the fight, and I was like, I don't know what I was doing, but I kind of was like shifting to the right towards Oregorger, and I don't know why, and then all of a sudden I face pulled it, and I'm like, oh my god. And right before all this, people were like jokingly shitting on me. I don't even remember what was being said, but
Okay, you asked if you were in range of the healers.
oh right.
And I said no, but who cares?
Yes.
And I think you were trying to get closer to the healers, and then you pulled Oregorger.
It was very strange, and I was just like, it like opened that statement, opened a floodgate of like everyone like pooping on me, and then then the one comment from Cauldress is like, be nice to Rhuller, because she's always like that, and then I face pull, and then we all die obviously, and then I'm like QQing because I'm like, you guys were mean to me, and then we come back and Cauldress actually was like, see, I told you to be nice to Rhuller, and it was just perfect. It was awesome.
It was a
Well,
fun time.
I was watching you jump, like you were jumping side to side, and they were facing towards the range group, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't really have Oregorger in your like view, I'm
No,
sure.
I didn't.
So I was watching you do it. I'm like, wow, you're getting really close to the boss, but you're not pulling. That's crazy. And then I kind of zone out for a minute, and then like suddenly I'm getting attacked.
Yeah,
Well,
it was bad.
It's like I think it was on Monday we were doing Thogar attempts, or we were doing normal Thogar, and Cauldress face pulled him,
Oh yeah.
and everyone was like not doing anything because we thought we were just gonna wipe it down and restart. But then Ark was like, no, let's go, and we pulled the entire fight out of our ass, and it's just like we had no legitimate reason to win that fight, but we did.
Oh yeah, we did one shot it, didn't we? That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
Yeah, it's just like Large had like amazing reactions. It was just like, let's like just go. Who cares? And so we just killed them.
It's so funny. And then the other thing I have is very small. We were coming back from an Oregorger wipe, and somebody was like, at least I think it was Brash actually. Somebody was like, at least there's no train puns or something. And then fucking Seb T is like, yeah, but Oregorger rocks. And it's like, oh my god, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was good. And
It was right after you face pulled him
oh yeah, probably.
because you said that you wanted a hug,
Oh yeah,
and then I made the comment about Gorons from
yeah.
Ocarina of Time after the Dodongo's Cavern.
And then I
good.
like I played with Seb for a while. I think I rated MC with her, but I've never heard her squee to that degree. Yeah, it was quite the squee.
Oh man, 17 is so fucking adorable. I can't even handle it. Yeah. I don't know if either of you have any other story times, but those are the ones I have marked down.
I've forgotten the beginning of this pod already. My memory is not one for stories.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the main pod tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned. We're going to do the after show where we talk about random shit, and it's going to be good. I literally have after show random shit as my note, so it's going to be good.
Nice.
And we'll get large in on the conversation as well. I just want to plug a couple things. If you enjoyed this pod, please like and follow this stream. You can also check out sports on his stream at Auction MD.
Auction?
Auction, whatever your name.
Audition.
Audition. That's how I plug things. I didn't want you to actually go to his Twitch because I want you all here, but yeah. If you want to just yeah. You can also check him out at Audition MD on Twitch. He streams our fights as well. You can check out the kill videos, and after these podcasts go out, they'll be put in onto YouTube. You can check out those at Rhuller Space Gaming on YouTube, and you can also check out Brashear Wow, one word, Brashear Wow, for kill vids. And you can also follow me at Twitter at Rhuller SRL for updates of when the videos get posted and raid times and streaming and all that cool stuff. So go and I'll follow all that stuff, like and subscribe on YouTube, all that good stuff. So thank you so much, Sports, for coming on and joining us for our main pod here. I hope you stick around for the after show for a little bit. That'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have class till like 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, so I'm not in a rush to go anywhere.
Cool. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and here we're gonna go right into the after.